This project required two steel rings about 16 inches in diameter. I looked around at all things in nature and tried to figure out where I could find them, and finally decided that I could get them from the inside of a water heater. So I got on Facebook Marketplace and I found a broken water heater that the person was going to give away and picked it right up. And then I began my construction. After tearing the outside of the heater off with the metal and the top and the bottom, I needed to cut them into sections. To get this cut started, I took an angle grinder with a 4-inch grinding wheel and made a hole to start with, and then I put a saber saw blade and took a hacksaw blade and put it in the saber saw, and I cut these two steel rings for the project that I was about to work on. First, I drilled 4 holes equally spaced radial around the rings, and then I cut 4 legs to go in through the rings, and I screwed them in place to keep the ring up in the center of the board. Then I went on from there, cutting scraps of wood and filling up the circles. I kept cutting boards and cutting boards. I got wood from my neighbors. I got wood from the trash cans. I started bringing home pallets and taking them apart. The dialysis unit had several pallets, and my good friend Craig, the dialysis technician who saves my life every week by giving me great dialysis, helped me load them into my truck. So I finally got enough wood to fill up all of the rings. With the rings full, I turned them upside down and cut a round piece of plywood to go on the bottom of them. I smeared a lot of glue on top of it, and then I took my nail gun and put a load of staples in it, and I shot a stick of staples in the bottom of each one to try to hold as many of the rings in place as possible. So this is the picture of them upside down with the bottoms attached. After 2 or 3 coats of polyurethane, they kind of looked like this. The end tables, these were 2 end tables that I was making for my daughter Brandy and my son-in-law Travis to go in their new house. This picture, looking straight down on them, shows the variety of shapes and sizes of the pieces that we put in there. I didn't really measure anything. I would just line the rip fence up on the saw to where I was getting a piece that would have a straight edge, and I'd cut it and I'd put it in the barrel. One day my grandson Jake came over and I said, "You're pretty good at organizing," and he really is. And so he started changing the shapes around to get so that there wouldn't be big squares in one place and little squares in another place. But then I got to looking at it after he worked so hard on it, and I thought, I'm going to put one round one in there just so that when he looks at it, he'll notice it. And he'll ask me, "Why did you put the round one in there, Papa?" So right in the middle, you see that round one that I stuck in there. That's just for his benefit. You might also notice that on that round piece, I branded my little branding iron of the little truck. I made that branding iron just to kind of, everything I make, I like to stick that little brand on there just so that everybody that knows me and knows that little brand will know that this is something that I made for you. To finish them off, we bought some round pieces of glass to go on the top of them. We had to put little bumpers on the bottom of them that fit in the cracks of the boards to keep them from moving around. But they turned out, I wound up with 2 end tables. I think the kids were happy to get them. I think they liked them. Here they are pictured in their new house. It's kind of a different looking furniture to me, but I think they turned out pretty good. And as for the outside metal on the water heater, I took the top and painted it black. I took the sides and I cut them into leaf petals for a sunflower, and I made this big sunflower to decorate Brenda's yard. And as always, at the end of the video, I thank God. So while we've got this sunflower, I thank God for all the beautiful things in nature that He's given us to enjoy and for us to to gaze on during the summer, winter, fall, and spring. He is always good.